Alright, hello everyone. Back again here. I'm going to give you a little rundown of a project I've been working on for the last X amount of years. I just haven't been able to complete it. Now I have some time, and that's what I plan on doing, and I want to make some videos on it because I wish I had videos on it when I was doing the build. This is a 12-foot John boat, Aluma Craft. I didn't want to pay for a bass boat. I figured most of the stuff around me are small lakes, electric only, so I wanted to get a little boat that I could pay for and not owe anything on, and just make it into a little bass boat. Put decking on it. A few guys have done this on YouTube, I've seen. That's where I kind of got the idea from. I wanted to try my hand at it. Some of these guys had welded all their aluminum framing underneath, which is so dope. I wish I knew how to do that. But I did all mine with stainless steel fasteners, bolts and nuts, and lock washers. And then I used stainless steel rivet nuts to only tap into the bench seats that are underneath. One's underneath here. I tapped into the back transom part, and there's a piece of wood in there anyway for a motor. For a 9.9 is the max you could put on this. I didn't do anything. I didn't tap into anything in the ribs. Anything that was factory structural, I didn't mess with. I don't want to compromise the boat itself. This is my first build with one of these, so I wanted to make it work. And I obviously don't want to have it sink on me. Your other bench seats underneath here, and then you have your forward one, your bow one. That's right there that I tapped into. So I used all square aluminum tubing, angle pieces, 90-degree angle pieces, where I needed to, and that's my framing underneath. Keep it as light as possible. 1/4-inch plywood that I used a and B epoxy with and sealed everything. I have templates for this, and that way, if in the future, I plan on keeping the boat for my lifetime, so in the future if I do need to replace something, I can just take the deck off and redo it and put it back. Marine grade carpeting. I did a marine grade glue underneath, but it turned out to be, I think it was just sitting on a shelf too long from where I bought it from, so I ended up using liquid nails. I mean, that stuff is tops in my opinion. I got two 55-pound thrust trolling motor. I got one in the back here, this little guy. I mean, simple, but it gets the job done. And then I got the bow one with the foot pedal, so I can move my chair up top if I really want to, and just cruise around to little locations and stuff. But for the most part, I like to keep one chair on. Gives me a little more room. And it's only a 12-footer. After I built it and used it for a few years now, I was kind of like, oh, maybe I should have gotten a 15-footer. It would have fit in my garage. But at the time, I was just kind of happy just to get the 12-footer. And then it does what it needs to do. I'm a small person, and I don't really have anybody that goes out fishing with me, so I don't have to worry about an extra person on the boat wobbling around. So we'll start with the back hatch. I still have to do more work on this, so I'm sure there's going to be a lot of criticism as far as how I did the carpeting and on the edges. Turn the light on there. So I'm gonna cover these with aluminum angle pieces. I mean, if somebody figures out something or knows something better than I do and they want to leave a comment, please do. I was going to do C-channel, but it's 1/2-inch plywood, and the C-channel would just fit over the plywood, so I didn't know if they had anything that was 3/8 maybe. Well, I would have to do, I don't know, 3/8 is smaller. But anyway, that's the deal I got to do there. I just lightly sprayed it at the time. It took me 3 months to build, but it took like 5, almost 6 months to gather all of my material I needed and order everything. I found everything online. This was pre-COVID. So stuff was pretty much readily available. As you can see, the square tubing, how I have it. Now it would be cool to have it welded, you know, but I mean, for the most part, how I did it, this thing's pretty solid. If anything, you know, because they're separate pieces and not welded all together, yeah, it doesn't make the boat stiffer, but it also gives it play too. So if I do beach it, you know, to hop off or something, and it flexes a little bit, or I'm going down the road and it flexes a little bit, I'm not worried about it because it's not gonna flex the whole framing system that I had come up with. For fun, I had put in a little sump pump. Let's see if I can get the camera back here. A little sump pump. I still got to add the hose to. So that came with a float, or I bought a float with it, but I just have it on a switch. And if I see any water in the back here, then, you know, and if it's substantial, obviously above the ribs, then I'll turn it on. But I have yet to ever have to use it, which is kind of sad because I would love to pump some water out of it. Maybe I'll just pour water in there. Battery tender, I mounted inside. I mean, you got to watch the weight on this thing. I mean, on all boats, but this being smaller, I wanted to make it with all the amenities that some of these boats really do have. I don't have a live well. I really don't have a need for a live well, but guys have added that to their builds. Again, I gotta close these seams here because the carpeting, you know, a lot of guys did foldovers. They did really nice upholstery work. This was my first, and I'm not, you know, super professional as far as upholstery goes, you know. Did what I can, and then I'm gonna church it up a little bit here now that I've been using it for a few years, and I got some new ideas and new stuff has come out. So here we go. This is my battery box with all my power, everything that I have to run the boat. I got one deep cycle interstate battery for all my accessories. I put lights, that off-road lights basically. You can get them for Jeeps and stuff like that, but got them for this. Built my own hinge system to put them on so I can run off lights if I'm still out late at night, which I'm never really am, which is kind of sad because I would like to use the lights. I got an on-off switch for the batteries. This one's for the accessory one, and then I have one over here for the motor one. Now I also have two Minn Kota circuit breakers. That way, if I do have any kind of short issue, it's not going to ruin my battery. And then with the way this is wired, I have it so I can turn it and just keep it on one, or I can turn it to this one, or if I need to, they're in parallel and I can have them both and just have a really strong 12 volt. So that's pretty cool how you wire those all differently. Here's my rocker panel switch. I got my battery voltage digital when I turn everything on. That's here. We can turn this bad boy on right now. There we go. There's that. Yeah, there's all my rocker panels. There's my lights. And then one for my GPS, because that doesn't stay on full time. So everything has a switch. And then I was going to do LED lights in, you know, the battery box up front. I have storage up here, which we'll get to. And the wires are already there. You can pre-think all this stuff and plan it out. Design build is how I was doing it. And as I was going, I found better solutions to easier ways to do it. And you want to keep it. The trick is, and the fun of it for me is to keep it as light as possible, but still have everything on there that, you know, is pretty cool. What makes it a boat, you know, a little bass boat type of thing. That doesn't cost you an arm and a leg. And don't get me wrong, I love them bass boats. They're beautiful. So I still have to work on all the hatches. I got to put in my levers now that I came across. These are anodized metal. They do have a little bit of weight to them, and I need a total of 5 on here. But I'm not exceeding the weight limit yet. I think I still have another 75 pounds I can go. So I can't really like bring another person on here unless it's a small person, a small kid or something, or my twin. But anyway, and then hatch supports. These are 100 N. I forget what the N stands for. back when I got these, but I can't find anything smaller than this. And because they lift like 35 to 45 pounds, and my hatch doors they don't weigh that much. But it's the lowest number I could find at the moment, unless I, there's different stuff out there now. Here's my tackle storage. It's a little rough. Again, my first build. I gotta do all my angle pieces around this, cover the carpet, or cap the carpet off, I should say. And then I'm gonna slice these, that way they're not so jagged edges, because at the time I was just not in a hurry, but I was just putting stuff together to get it to work, so I can take it out and start testing everything, and then move forward. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, there's gonna be more to follow. With more, I'm hoping I do this nicely here and don't run into any issues, but building something like this doesn't cost me anything because I already own it. So it could sit here for as long as I want to and keep creating, keep adding to it within the weight limit, right? And then the gunnel I made for the front motor is a little rough. Put together, constructed. Having something nicely welded might be the way to go in the future here. And once I get everything together, maybe I'll have somebody weld it for me if I give them the dimensions. And that'll look cool. But for the most part, the thing's solid. It doesn't go anywhere. Pulls the boat very nicely when you drop that in the front. So, and then I have a Garmin fish finder here, GPS. It's a 7.5 screen. I wanted to go with ones that had the little bit bigger screen on it, colored. I went with a Garmin. I know there's other ones out there. They, all the little ones they have for the kayaks, which some people actually, they do a little one back here mounted like the kayak one, and then they have this one for their front. But I mean, I don't need all that. I mean, it is cool though, but it's just more weight, Still pretty cool though. But yeah, so that's my build here. Trying not to get my garage in here because there's a lot of crap in here, but I'll have better footage once I get this thing out and about again. And so stay tuned. Again, any comments or ideas somebody has, I mean, feel free, leave it down below. I'll try and give them a read when I get the time. And other than that, like and subscribe, and thank you.